Friday morning, we're about to upload the video, but we need to film our $1,000 precision sales giveaway. And we also can't wait to tell you about the gong show of a week we've had trying to get out of here. So just remember, we aren't sponsored by Precision Sales. They were nice enough to let us give away $1,000 of their money, but we paid full price for our sales. We bought them like 2 years ago, way before we started doing YouTube or anything. So just remember that.
So how we're going to do it is if you got the correct answer, which was 8, you get 2 entries, and if you got 1 or 2 numbers off, you get 1 entry. And I've wrote down every single one of you in a massive spreadsheet with your numbers and entries. And then we're going to use a random number generator.
So we have this. Put it closer. Oh, wait, I gotta make sure I'm on it. Okay. So when I click this, it'll generate a random number. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Drum roll.
31.
So now I'm going to look in my spreadsheet through everybody. There was a lot of you.
Who's it gonna be?
Agnes Harbour, 5657.
So Agnes Harbour 5657. She was on number 31, you can see right there.
She had 2 entries, and we're going to go find her in the comments and comment in a little while, maybe let her watch the video, and then give her the instructions to come back to us.
So Agnes Harbour, go back to your original comment on the Precision Sales giveaway video, and you've just won $1,000 towards any sale that Precision Sales makes. Now, let's get to what happened this week and how much of a disaster it was.
And happy Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
I'm down in the starboard hull now, down with the starboard engine. I'm going to do an oil change, and then obviously we'll do it on the other side as well. This is one of the easiest places to get rid of oil for a while. We can recycle it here, just pay a little bit. So we're going to do it even though we're not quite due for the oil change, but almost. You're supposed to do it after about 100 hours of motoring. So I've never actually done this before, so cut me some slack, but I think it's pretty easy and I have watched Darcy do it. So basically, this is an oil extractor, and you put the hose down where the dipstick comes out of. So you take the dipstick out. And then you put the hose down into that spot where the dipstick came out of, and you want to put it right down to the bottom. That's really important for some reason. Feels about right. And then on the extractor, you basically want to create a vacuum so that it starts sucking it by itself. So I think you pump it about 10 times. And you can see it coming up there. I don't know if you can, but you can see the oil, that dark oil coming up. So that should have created a vacuum. Give it one more. And so basically I think it takes a little while, and it should start sucking it up by itself now, and that takes all the oil out. This ring is the 5 litre mark. You can see where the oil's got up to. It's taken about 10 minutes to get there, and our engine takes about 6 litres. So we're almost done. I'm getting ready. I've got a funnel, got the new oil that we're going to put in. I'll get some gloves, put some shoes on, because we've got to take this out, take this bit of floor off, and then we'll put some new oil in, and we're going to do a filter change too. We've gotten the full 6 litres out now. When it's nearly done, you start hearing the gurgly kind of sound, which is it's sucking up air. Then you kind of just want to make sure this is right at the bottom and leave it another 10 minutes or so that it can suck up any oil that drips further down. And you can kind of give it a few more sucks. You can't hear it, but there, that sound. So that's when it's almost done. And we've left it for that 10 minutes, so we know we've got everything out that we can. It's just sucking up that air. Okay. I've taken more of the floor off now so I can get to the oil filter easily, and I've got an oil filter wrench. So now I'm going to try and change that. put it on the middle one. This way. Yeah, let's ease it up. Oh, no. Oh. I was trying to do it as quick as possible to stop from dripping oil anywhere. And that obviously worked really well. Okay, now that that lake of oil is cleaned up, I'm going to put a new oil filter on. And you have to fill it up with some oil. And you can see the oil is like not black. Like the old oil was very black. Okay, and then you can lubricate the O-ring so it tightens up easier when you put it on. And here comes the easy part. It's putting it back on without spilling any. Well, that went better than expected. We've been told that you just need to hand tighten them at the end. So now I'm just filling it up with 6 litres of good oil, and then we're almost done. So just the last step now is to check with the oil dipstick that the oil is up to the right level. And it's just below the line, which is perfect in boats. So we're all done. Just got to do the other side now. Well, we've got a potentially huge problem. Yesterday afternoon when I was doing the oil changes, I came over to start doing the port one and turned the engine on to start warming up the oil, and it wouldn't turn on. It was just a loud clunking sound, and that was it. It wasn't the battery or the starter. Darcy heard the sound as well and thought it maybe was a hydro lock. So we've had a bit of a look at it this morning, and there is definitely salt water in the oil. I'll let you explain what we're going to try and do now.
We've asked around, and luckily enough, someone that's only 2 boats over from us has dealt with this problem a numerous amount of times, and they're willing to help us, which is great. I've never dealt with a hydrolock before, only what I've read, so it's a good opportunity to get some really good help and learn a little bit more about our engines.
And hopefully the engine itself is actually going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping the engine's going to be okay. There's a chance that we bent a rod, and there's a chance for a bunch of other damage as well. We're not sure, but this guy really knows what he's doing, so he's going to help us out. If we did bend a rod, it kind of is what it is. Apparently, it's not too hard to replace them, so it'll be a good opportunity to learn how to replace them. I'm really hoping there's not more damage than that, but I mean, we just got to see, and so we're just going to hope that everything's going to be okay, and we can still get out of here on time and be somewhere nice for Christmas. So right now we're just, like I said, draining all the oil, and then we have to, there's a process that we have to do to check it and everything, and we'll show you guys what that is. We're not 100% sure what it is yet. We know we have to take the injectors off, and then we think the problem might have been the anti-siphon valve. So we'll talk about more in a bit, but this is the first step, taking the oil out. And then we have a bunch of ATF fluid that we're going to use to hopefully displace the water. So once the oil all goes out, the ATF fluid is going to go in, and then we're going to hand crank the engine and try and get as much water out as possible, and then drain this, and then oil change after oil change after oil change. And at some point in there, we're also taking the injectors out. So wish us luck. our dock mate has dropped by, given me tons of helpful advice and how to. He also told me to come get him if I run into any issues. But I think that I have enough information that I can kind of continue on. So we're going to be removing a bunch of stuff. I don't have the names necessarily for everything, but this is going to get removed, and then this is also going to get removed, and we're going to take the injectors out. And we'll see. And then we'll see if we've bent any rods. Apparently it's easy enough to check. And we'll see if there's any water in the cylinders as well. Alright, I have the top of this case unbolted, and I know it's going to move easily because when I was unbolting it, and removing the hoses, it was kind of shaking back and forth. But I don't know if like a bunch of oil is going to pour out or not, so I guess we'll have to figure it out. It's coming off easy. To be very careful with this gasket. Okay, so less oil than I thought, but more gasket than I thought. I don't know why I wasn't expecting a gasket on here, but here it is. And I have to make sure that, because I don't have another one of these. So I have to make sure this gasket is all good. Just kind of put it back where it should go. All right. Well, that's a new part of the engine that I've never seen before. What do we do with this? I think maybe get a big plastic bag. So I'm taking off the fuel rail right now. I think it's called the fuel rail. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure. Fuel delivery tubes maybe. But it's super slow going. You have to, like, the wrench can only get in a little bit. So maybe you get like 1/8 of a turn at a time. But it's going well. It's going well. So that's the last fuel delivery metal hose. I really apologize for not knowing what any of this stuff is, but time to take the injectors out. I do know what those are. These brackets holding the injectors are slightly difficult to get off, but I've worked out a system with 2 screwdrivers where I can slowly pry them off. It takes a long time, but slow and steady wins the race. Done. The last hard job.
That's not the last hard job.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that was probably a mistake to say that.
There's a lot more to go.
We have to take the injectors out. They should just wiggle out. So we'll see if they come out. I got them wiggling a little bit, but okay, that one came out really easy. That's the one that wiggled the easiest. And this one, it's a bit more trouble, but it's coming. Okay, we got all of the injectors out. It looked like they were kind of rusty. One of them I think is, 2 of them maybe. But yeah, I think that's a big win. Now to figure out how to go forward from here. This is the end of our instruction. I think we have a little bit more. We have to take the water out of the injector, out of the cylinders. So you can see there's water inside where the injector was. That's not good, but good because we know what the problem was now. Bottom it and cleared them.
Keep rolling it over. Make sure I don't grab it too much.
We've just had another visit by Justin, and he's the guy that's been helping us with all this. And so we have more direction moving forward. So we have this ATF fluid, automatic transmission fluid, and we just have to kind of dump it over everything. We checked the rods, and well, he checked the rods for us. He helped us. He showed us what to do, and they're all good. There doesn't appear to be any engine damage. So yeah, hopefully this is good. So we have to put this stuff in to displace any water that's left in, and then we have to kind of take it out and then put in oil and then turn it over by hand, take that oil out, and then put in more oil, and then we can maybe fire it up and then take that oil out. And so a bit of a process still, but it's looking really good.
Wait, is that supposed to go everywhere like that?
No, it's not. I don't know how to...
Do you want me to pour it into a smaller cup?
Yeah, maybe a glass. Okay, take two. We have this little thing to dump it in, and we also found a syringe that'll help us do the cylinders. I'm going to use this syringe to inject the ATF fluid into the cylinder. And all we're trying to do is the same thing. We're just trying to displace any water, any seawater that's possibly in there. So... 10 cc's of ATF fluid is stepped. We've been at it all day, doing little bits here and there, and we've done a lot of engine work today. Some minor setbacks, but we Googled our way out of it. Hopefully, we'll see. So we've taken the ATF fluid out. This pump has sucked it all out. We put 8 liters in, and we've gotten a little bit more than 8 liters out, which is good. We used some brake clean here to clean off the injectors. We have the injectors out right here. They all look pretty good, so we think it's going to be okay. And then we were just about to put the oil in, so we went to put the valve cover cap back on this, and the gasket has stretched because we don't have a new gasket to put on. So this rubber gasket here is too big. So we were kind of like hooped, but then we decided to hit the internet, and Google has said that you can boil the gasket and have it shrink a little. So we're gonna try that. We also have some like liquid gasket that we're also gonna add on top of the gasket, but we wanna get the gasket fitting correctly first. So we're gonna boil it. Yvette has been scraping the anti-siphon. We've pretty sure that was the problem. The anti-siphon failed. So it's in a dish of vinegar, and it's being scraped and cleaned, and it's going to soak overnight in the vinegar. And hopefully that's going to be good to go. This we're hoping to get back on today, so we can put oil in here and start hand turning it, and then do another oil change on top of that. So hopefully going to do at least one oil change tonight. So as you can see, our install of the solar cables is very temporary, but this painter's tape has held up fantastically. Unfortunately, because now we have surround, which we'll show you on video a bit later, the wires can't go this way anymore. So they got to go through the top of here, and there's a couple other wires in the future that are going to need to go through the top of here as well. So what we've decided to do is just put a through hull through the top of our hardtop bimini. So pretty simple, just cut another hole in the boat. So basically, from underneath, which I can't reach under right now because there's a cover in the way it's around, but this is gonna come up here, and we're gonna clamp it down here. I'm gonna cut this off and put a cap on it, and have a little hole in here that the wires can go through and then down, and then it'll allow these wires to still get down to where they need to get.
But not allow the rain to get through.
But not allow the rain to get through. A magnificent job we did on this hardtop. No, don't show them too closely.
That's the fiberglass, and that's the foam core, isn't it? That you can see.
Yes, fiberglass and foam core.
And then that's just plastic underneath, catching everything.
Yeah.
Well, we've decided to have a bit of a break from boat jobs and engine troubles today, and our mate Scott that we met here at the dock has offered to take us see some cool sights around Ensenada, and then we might come and do some provisioning as well, because we're still thinking we might get out of here before Christmas and try and make it to an Anchorage for Christmas Day.
We are definitely going to get out of here before Christmas.
We've got less than a week. We've got a lot of jobs. In fact, I feel like the jobs have gotten significantly more
Yeah,
because of all the things going wrong.
The whole engine thing was supposed to just be an oil change, so.
Yeah, that's taken up most of our time lately. So we'll see how we go, but probably as per usual for us, we're gonna get going with a lot of jobs not done, and we'll do them on the way at some anchorages down the track. But we don't want to kind of wait for everything to be done, because we could easily see ourselves here for a very long time.
Yeah, so somewhere fun for Christmas is the #1 goal.
Yeah, and a nice day today to enjoy Ensenada.
Sure.
Where this thing's gonna go. Well, I think you might be right. I'm thinking maybe I'm way past the point of no return. I'm running traffic lights to spend a little time looking into your eyes. Swear I've been aching, I've been waiting for you all my life. This must be what love feels like. You got me high as a satellite. All that I know is I think I like life a little better with you on my mind. Am I in too deep or being naive? Will you lift me up or send me to my knees? Start prophesizing.
Quiet on the set. Sorry.
It's actually a thing.
Am I in too deep or being naive? Will you lift me up or send me to my knees? Start prophesizing that you'll wreck my life and leave me high and dry, yeah. But you look at me like you know something I don't. It's almost like you see where this thing.
Amex, blanket, ponche, tequila shot glasses.
We're good. Just looking.
What would you like?
T-shirts. Ensenada shirts. Huh? Ensenada shirts? Oh, no thanks. I live here. I got a painting. But you don't have this one.
Oh, we do have
No, but I have it yellow.
nice,
I have it
It's a
yellow.
nice color for you.
It is color. It's only 15.
I got different colors. Come on, let me show you what I got.
Tonight, don't forget your black.
Everything cheaper right here.
Well, I think you might be right. I'm thinking maybe I'm way past the point of no return. I'm running traffic lights to spend a little time looking into your eyes. Swear I've been aching, I've been waiting for you all my life.
dragon fruit. After an amazing day exploring with Scott, we decided to do one more boat job before going to sleep.
Boom! And you thought Supernova wasn't going to do Christmas.
There was also a Christmas boat parade in the harbour, and they may have outdone us, but it was really cool to watch.
After a phone conversation with Garmin, and they've been super nice this whole time, they determined that this should fix our problem. So what is happening is our autopilot is sending power somehow through the NEMA 2000 network, and that's like the network that allows all the instruments to talk to each other, and it's allowing false readings to happen on our wind meter. So this isolates the autopilot from sending any power. So apparently all you have to do is attach it to the T that the autopilot's going to plug into, and NEMA 2000 network stuff is super simple. Like that's the attachment made, and then we have to plug it into our network backbone that's down in there, and everything should work. So we've used our handheld wind meter, anemometer, I believe it's called, to test the anemometer up on the mast to make sure the readings are correct, and they are. They're really close to each other. A little bit more wind up there, than down here, but we're 100% confident our wind meter is working again, and we have this handheld meter that we can continuously check it, and then also this is going to help us out a lot at night. And then for stuff like kiteboarding and stuff like that, which we don't know how to do, but we're gonna learn. This is the old gasket. It's stretched out a little bit, so it doesn't fit properly anymore. This is a new gasket that we went to San Diego to buy. And unfortunately, we got a gasket for a 4JH4 motor. The shopkeeper gave us the wrong gasket. We really should have checked part numbers and everything, so that's kind of on us, which is unfortunate, but this gasket is too big, and this gasket is only a little too big. You can kind of see this is the new gasket, and this is the old gasket. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to put the old gasket back on. It doesn't fit properly because it's a little bit too big. It got a little bit stretched out. We're gonna have to cut a little chunk out of it and put a bunch of this stuff called Ultra Black, and hope that it holds. At least it holds enough so that it's not a massive oil leak or something coming out of here. So yeah. We have the gasket in the freezer. We did a test run of this and it kind of worked. So maybe we're gonna let the gasket sit in the freezer for like 10 minutes instead of 5 this time. We're just gonna put some of this ultra black gasket maker on the valve cover, and then just in a couple of spots to help it hold it down, and we're gonna hope that this works. All right, so it's not gonna work, unfortunately. We thought it was gonna work, so we're gonna try something here. We're gonna cut the gasket, and hopefully we'll cut a small bit out of the gasket to let the gasket kind of sit down more. Looks like it fits. We're gonna have to wait 24 hours. That's what the directions say on here. They wait 24 hours before putting it into service. And that's gonna be Friday, which is tomorrow. And we wanna get out of here on Saturday.
So we're cutting it fine, as usual.
Cutting a fine line. Yeah, we got to do a lot of oil changes and everything before then. But we have to wait till this is on. Upon further review of the instructions, we're supposed to put this on right away. So it's a good thing we kept reading. So this just kind of goes on. We can't move it too much. I've just hand tightened these 3 bolts, and I think we're supposed to leave it for like an hour or something before torquing it. But we have to wait 24 hours before putting it back into service. But some of the internet forums and mechanics and stuff were saying that you could put it back into service a little bit faster, depending on the heat and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna put the heater on this side of the boat and plug it in, even though it's already hot here, just to maybe make it a little bit warmer and help the curing time. And then maybe tomorrow morning we can start testing it. Or maybe even tonight we can start testing it. Probably tomorrow morning because we're chickens.
Well, we were lucky enough today to catch a ride with Justin and Angela, a couple really nice. They've helped us with a bunch of things since we've been here in Ensenada. And they took us today because they were going to a marketplace. We got some fruit and veggies. They're already on the boat. We got some wood cut to finally get around to doing our window frames and getting rid of the wires in the boat. And then we went to Costco because there's one here. I've never been to one, and it was massive and crazy, and I've never seen such a place like it. But we bought a lot, so we should be set for the next little while. So that brings us to the next step. We haven't tried to start the engine yet. We're just giving that a little bit more time to settle. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning, which is Friday morning when you guys are going to be watching this. We're going to be stressing and starting that engine for the first time. So wish us luck. We hope it works.
No stress. No stress. It's gonna work.
It's
guaranteed gonna work.
Guaranteed gonna work. We have to check out of Ensenada, and that's at 9 in the morning. So we're probably going to check out, come back and start the engine. It's gonna work.
Do 5 oil changes.
A bunch of oil changes. Finish all the rest of the mad jobs that we've got to do on the boat before we leave. And looking at the weather, we're going to leave sometime on Saturday. That's what we're thinking. So that's like the day after you guys watch this. So Saturday the 23rd, we're hoping to get out. We just think we need to go. We need to get back out on the water and maybe make it to a nice little anchorage for Christmas.
It's getting too comfortable here.
Yeah, it's easy. There's so many nice people. It's like they're putting on lunch here, tamales, which is Mexican food for us tomorrow. So, well, for everyone, Christmas lunch. So anyway, we'll see you next Friday. Happy Christmas for everyone.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.